The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, BCIT Ski and Snowboard Club share some advice on how to stay safe on the slopes.
Protesters are fighting for the rights of 14 people that were arrested in Houston, BC.
And BCIT aims to create a more inclusive campus. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine for January 10th. I'm Michael Beck.
And I'm Hayder Nayani. Are you thinking of hitting the slopes? The BCIT Snow Club is preparing its members and anyone else interested in joining in for a wild winter of flurries and avalanches. Our reporter Sean Holden has the story.
Members of the BCIT Snow Club love hitting the hills, but organizer Randy Smith knows too well how quickly things can turn after being pummeled by a minor avalanche while ice climbing.
And there's no time to react. It's either ingrained in you or it's not. And you have to grab your prusik, make sure you don't slide down the rope, cover your head, cover your eyes. And, you know, luckily I had a helmet, luckily I had gloves and plastic boots, but not everyone's that lucky. So you really have to know what you're going to do when the situation hits, well before it even, happens.
Avalanche Canada is warning BC that it's at risk of avalanches now. On January 3rd, a 43-year-old skier, Chris McCrum, who was in Pemberton's outback, lost his life after an avalanche struck him. North Shore Rescue spokesperson Mike Danks says you must be prepared.
And then if you're going to be going outside of the controlled terrain of one of our local mountains, then you need to have avalanche safety equipment with you. And that really comes down to a transceiver, a probe, and a shovel. Just having those isn't the answer, though. You need to also have the training to understand how to use those and how to navigate through avalanche terrain safely.
Danks says to check Avalanche Canada and BC Parks for weather reports and warnings.
And even if things go right, you can still have absolutely crazy things happen. So it's always about being well prepared for situations that might never come.
If you're interested in getting up on the mountains, the BCIT Snow Club is hosting a safety awareness event on January 24th. Sean Holden in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
We are now joined by reporter Sean Holden. Sean, which areas have an increased avalanche risk?
Well, Michael, behind me are Seymour and Grouse Mountain ranges. Those ones have considerable chances of avalanches, especially in the backcountry. But as well, if you move up along the Sea to Sky Highway through Squamish and Pemberton, they too also have considerable chances of avalanches occurring, according to Avalanche Canada. So if you're not too sure if you're going to go out on the weekend and you want to be safe, or you're going to go into the backcountry, just hop onto Avalanche Canada's website and they should have a detail as to what you should be looking for.
And Sean, other than the Lower Mainland, what areas should people be concerned about?
Well, Michael, if you're heading out east towards the Kootenays or Jasper National Park, you have a higher chance of avalanches occurring there. Weather conditions aren't completely certain, especially if you go into the backcountry or the alpine levels to do your skiing or snowboarding. It's always good to be prepared. Just make sure you've got your kit, the proper training if you're going to go into the backcountry, as well as checking those weather conditions. Michael?
The recent Indonesian tsunami may have happened many miles away, but the distance isn't stopping one group from trying to make a difference. Our Hayder Nayani reports.
Gracia Windiesti grew up in Indonesia, and now she's helping put on the Sunda Strait Tsunami Fundraiser. The event aims to raise relief funds for the disaster that hit close to home.
It was quite shocking and it was upsetting because I know that area very well.
The tsunami struck on December 22nd following the eruption of the Anak Krakatau volcano. At least 437 people have died and over 14,000 are injured. Former UBC professor of Asian Studies Tinaka Helwig, who's also part Indonesian, had this to say.
The most devastating part of this tsunami was that there was absolutely no warning.
No warning because the tsunami was caused by an undersea landslide, and Indonesia's early detection system simply was not equipped to pick up on that type of seismic activity.
The devastation of the houses, the streets, boats washed onto the shore and all the victims.
Traditional Indonesian treats, some raffle tickets, and a bit of bingo can, Gracia hopes, go a long way in providing some assistance to those struggling in the aftermath. But she's also prepared to make a more direct impact.
I already planned my trip. Okay, we're going on a vacation, all that. But then since I heard about this news, then I'm allocating my time instead of going all the way vacation, because I'm going for a month. So I will be going to the site to help, yeah.
The group asks those interested in helping to donate to the Canadian Red Cross. Hayder Nayani, BCIT Magazine.
New federal rules are coming to drone enthusiasts. Anyone flying a drone will now require an online exam to get a pilot certificate. The new rules are coming into effect on June 1st and apply to all drone operators, whether they're flown for fun, work, or research purposes.
Vancouver's Notre Dame Highschool has put plans into motion for its first ever on-campus stadium. Our reporter Michael Beck has the project details.
The Notre Dame Jugglers have been an athletic powerhouse amongst BC high school athletics for the better part of 50 years. But this is the field that they dream of. Despite its success, sports teams like soccer and football have to walk an hour to Renfrew Park just to practice. The school has plans to finally build an athletic complex within its boundaries. However, some neighbors are against the project. Many of the neighbors are under the perception that the field will seat 2,000 people with no added parking. This is simply not true. William McCarthy is a developer for the project, and he stressed how the field will not hinder the neighborhood in any way.
I don't know where that came from. Nowhere near that, because we couldn't have gotten our permit. There are no lights here. Parking is condensed and consolidated along Parker in a more orderly fashion. So I don't see any material impact to the neighbors. In fact, it enhances the neighborhood.
Some alumni agree.
Some of those extracurricular programs or afternoon programs are what's necessary to build community not only in the school but also in the surrounding neighborhoods.
We talked with other neighbors, however, they declined to comment due to controversy and misinformation on the project. Developers are hopeful the project can be completed by 2020. Michael Beck in Vancouver, BCIT Magazine.
And continuing with sports, Clemson University from South Carolina won the college football playoff after defeating the University of Alabama. Clemson was led by true freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence. It was the first time a true freshman quarterback led his team to a championship in 34 years. The 44-16 victory added a third football championship to the school's trophy case and its second in 3 years.
A female hockey official in Edmonton is echoing concerns by her colleague that she can't advance to higher levels in the men's game. Cassandra Gregory had her name put forward by the Regional Referees Committee to officiate in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. She would have been the first female official in the league, but Hockey Alberta did not assign her to any games. Coming up after the break, we have reactions to the guilty plea in the fatal Humboldt Broncos crash.
And a Golden Globes roundup with an entertainment expert.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates.
My sense of confidence has never been higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real world, real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, realizing your potential.
Hi, and welcome to your community calendar. So we're a solid week into January, and have you kept any of your resolutions? If you haven't, worry not, we got you covered. Check out 3 alternative ways to better yourself this year.
Don't you think you've been using your screen too much? I think he has. Unplug from your digital devices and rediscover the joy of your surroundings by taking part in this month's Screen Time Challenge. The challenge is urging people to use less than 2 hours of screen time per day. Trust me, your eyes will thank you later.
Everyone loves a good downward dog position, especially in a hot room. Become a member at Bikram's Yoga Studio and take on the 30-day yoga challenge. You'll leave feeling refreshed and relaxed and nail down 30 positions in 30 days. Happy stretching and namaste.
Oh my god, so like spin class and brunch on Sunday? SoulCycle offers classes throughout the day to fit into your hectic lifestyle. Make sure to check out their website or their Yaletown studio and book a ride.
That was your community calendar for this week. If you partake in any of these challenges, tweet us or DM us and let us know about your resolution journey.
Welcome back. This year marked the 76th annual Golden Globes. Our producer Sahil Morar sat down with local entertainment blogger Hannah Gorton to recap the results.
My guest here with me today is Hannah Gorton. She is a freelance entertainment writer, and we're here to give you a little roundup of the Golden Globes 2019.
I absolutely love the Golden Globes this year. Sometimes it's a little bit wishy-washy. I think that the hosts, Sandra Oh and Andy Samberg, were totally great. I thought they were really funny, really fresh. They were topical without being too staged.
What do you think were some of the better awards and more controversial awards?
I think that Olivia Colman absolutely deserved it for The Favorite. She was wonderful. Her acceptance speech was so beautiful and so great. Obviously, there was a little bit of controversy because Glenn Close beat out Lady Gaga. I think, having seen The Wife, she absolutely deserved it. I loved A Star Is Born, but Glenn Close is just a gem. I love her.
Even with the Golden Globes, like these ones, this was very tame compared to past Golden Globes with characters like Ricky Gervais in the monologue, always roasting people and making fun of people. Sandra Oh and Andy Samberg being very tame and complimenting everyone in the same kind of style and format of being roasted. I think that definitely shone through with the whole Time's Up movement. And
absolutely, yeah. They managed to embrace everyone while still having that humor that everyone sort of loves from the award shows.
In your opinion, best dressed?
Oh man, there were so many gorgeous outfits. I have to say, Cody Fern from Assassination of Gianni Versace, I loved the sheer blouse. It was gorgeous. I was obsessed with it. It was so good. I love Lady Gaga's dress. I love the little nod to A Star Is Born and Judy Garland. I thought that was gorgeous. Those two would definitely be my winners.
So in your opinion, who do you think were the top award winners of the Globes?
I thought it was really surprising how many awards The Green Book won. It wasn't really a fan favorite. I think that's really going to change the outcome of the Oscars, and I'd love to see when that comes up.
Anyway, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Jaskirt Singh Sidhu, the truck driver involved in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, has pled guilty to all charges laid against him in court Tuesday. Haider Niani asked BCIT students their thoughts on the guilty plea.
I feel like the real heart of the problem is the lack of training for truck drivers.
It was a pretty big tragedy, and I think the guy actually feels bad himself.
Good choice on his part, and it'll hopefully lead him to not blaming himself all the time, get some help, and yeah, it's for the better.
I think that it's great he owned up to what he did, and that hopefully there's some time for him to kind of make it better.
And I would just feel sick if I was in any of those families, because it's just a bunch of young teenagers, and I don't know, like, if that happened to one of my friends or me, I think family and me personally would be very upset, and like I wouldn't feel really forgiveness for him. And even now that he said that he owned up to it, I still feel like he deserves the maximum penalty.
BCIT is getting its pride on with its very first LGBTQ2+ event of the year. Here's Sean Holden.
The BCIT Student Association is putting together an LGBTQ2S social on for January 29th. Event organizer Trina Prince says they wanted to create a safe space for individuals.
I think it's really important for the community to kind of have a space where we can come together and just be able to be ourselves. We never know, walking through this world where we're going to experience maybe something negative or hate. It unfortunately does happen more than we'd like to admit. I think BCIT, to be honest, has a long way to go in regards to diversity and being welcoming for the community. And so I think having this social is one of those steps forward that we can come together, create a space, be ourselves, and then just celebrate who we are.
All students are allowed to attend the event, which includes games and free pizza. If you miss this one, the event happens once each month.
Protesters marched across North America on Tuesday in support of the 14 Wet'suwet'en First Nations who were arrested. Those protesters were taken into custody for opposing a court-ordered injunction where the company Coastal GasLink wants to build its $6.2 billion pipeline. A Facebook video was posted from just south of Houston, BC, showing officers taking down the blockade and arresting the 14 protesters. Following the arrests, other protesters across North America announced an International Day of Solidarity, with the Vancouver protests marching from the provincial courthouse on Hornby down to Victory Square. Other cities that held marches include Victoria, Toronto, and San Francisco. Some protesters explained why it was important for them to be there.
What's going on with oil and gas companies in this country, in this province, in First Nations territory is absolutely obscene. It's a violation on so many levels.
The proposed Coastal GasLink pipeline would span 670 kilometers across northern British Columbia. It would supply natural gas from near Dawson Creek to the planned LNG Canada export facility near Kitimat.
Our digital reporter Darian Matasafung was at the protest and he joins us now. Darian, how many people showed up for the event?
When I arrived, there was about 40 to 50 people in front of the Supreme Court. Within half an hour, about 1,500 people showed up. The crowd was getting quite large, so the RCMP closed down Smythe and Hornby for the march down to Victory Square.
Interesting, and what was the scene like?
Tensions were very high, lots of people were upset, lots of backlash was directed towards Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. There was lots of traditional Indigenous music and a very heavy police presence. Back to you.
A CN railway train was stalled this weekend in Burnaby. Though railway crews said it would only be stalled for 30 minutes, the actual stall lasted 2.5 hours. This left many pedestrians stranded and prompted some to climb over it. CN Railway apologized for the delay, but said climbing over the train is extremely unsafe. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced a by-election for 3 ridings, one being Burnaby South. The election will take place on February 25th, and NDP leader Jagmeet Singh will be running for a seat.
A Langley mother started a petition to ban smoking in condos, that after dealing with secondhand smoke for 3 years. That petition has now garnered 13,000 signatures, and Langley MLA Mary Polak plans on bringing that petition to Victoria.
One of Vancouver's most popular pot brands, Cannabis Culture, will be shutting down its dispensaries. This comes after the BC Supreme Court ordered all illicit cannabis stores to shut down last month. Cannabis Culture CEO Jeremiah Vandermeer says the city has been threatening his staff with fines and arrests.
Police have urged people to stay away from the damaged White Rock Pier, but that message didn't stick for one man who now faces a $115 fine. White Rock RCMP say the man was charged for trespassing and claims he was there to clean up some debris, but that's no excuse for being there. Anyone caught on the wreck can be expected to be escorted off and given a ticket.
Fans of comic book legend Stan Lee can now celebrate his life at a new memorial in Hollywood. On January 30th, TCL Chinese Theater will immortalize Lee's foot and handprints in cement. The event will also include musical performances, an art exhibition, and a gallery of props and costumes from Lee's work.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com.
That was your BCIT Magazine for this week. I'm Hayder Nayani.
And I'm Michael Beck. We leave you now with shots from our BCIT campus.